we have to go to at least lap 22 to make sure that the super softs make the end of the race. So you guys can see we now jump all the way on to lap 10, and look at that right front, guys, 41% already, and we're not even done with lap 10. We've still got more than 10 laps to go. Yeah.
They shooting. I made you look. They shooting. I made you look.
You a slave to a page in my rhyme book.
Hello guys, Turbocharged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, I'm just going to quickly tell you something. This is the second time I'm doing the commentary for this video as well as for tomorrow's sprint race. And a certain somebody, I'm not going to mention any names, turned off my microphone. So yeah, I'm just saying, my original commentary was fantastic. This might not be as good, but it's okay. We are moving forward, not backwards. So please drop a like down below on the video to show your support coming my way. Guys, we are back with our self-created F2 2020 Championship. We are done with the first 3 rounds, basically in the United Arab of Emirates, that region, because we had Bahrain, Vietnam, and Abu Dhabi. So the, what do they call the Eastern region? Just, I don't know. I know they call it a certain something, but we're done with that region, and we are now heading towards Singapore for the Singapore F2 weekend. And just a quick little blip here in practice, nothing too major, but it's now time for quali, so let's go straight there. Sitting pretty here in the garage of the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Oh yes. You guys see we're going very high wings, 9-10 wings on the car. Just quickly double checking the setup. And now it's time to go around this beautiful track. One of my favorite tracks on the F1 calendar. I love Singapore. But unlike the F1 race, the races for the F2 are going to be in the bright daytime. It's just quali, which is close to nighttime. But in any case, guys, after we opened up DRS on the main straight into the first corner, 90-degree left-hander into a sweeping right, into a left-handed hairpin. Plant the power as quickly as possible coming out of the corner. Now heading in towards this next sweeping right-hander onto the second DRS detection zone. Get the power down early through the corner, just shimmy the wall there. I actually didn't touch the wall there, but you need to get as close to that wall as possible. Now you guys can see onto the back straight, it's clear that I'm running a lot of downforce compared to the AI. Into the left-hander now, mounting the curbs really aggressively, because here around Singapore, because there's already not too much space to use, the space that you have available, use all of it. Into the left-hander now, barreling down this little section into my favorite section of the track, close to the Anderson Bridge, onto the anchors very hard, cut this inside curb very aggressively, hang it on the inside, to the next right-hander to the inside, just go as close to that inside wall as possible. Now over the bridge, into the hairpin, onto the third and final DRS detection zone. Open up the rear flap, they're barreling down the straight. So far Armstrong is in the lead. We are all the way down to P4 now. Into the corner, brake very hard, mount the curb on the inside, get the car turned in as quickly as possible, and plant the power on the way out. We go purple middle sector, so it is looking good for us at this stage. Into the final sector, which is 3 chicanes, and then the final corner is a double left-hander. Through the first right-left chicane, into the left-right chicane as we go underneath the little bridge and through the tunnel, and now into the final chicane, right-left. Beautiful run through here. We've got at this stage P1, but will it stay P1? Plant the power on the way out into the final 2 corners, double right-hander. Throw the car in there, and we are going to be in P.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top 3.
Matsushita, Schwartzman and Marcus Armstrong.
The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye. The tension and excitement in the air can only mean one thing. It's race day here in Singapore at the Marina Bay Street Circuit as we get set for another engaging Formula 2 race. Located in the heart of Singapore's Marina Bay, this bumpy street circuit is seen as one of the most physically demanding in motorsport. It can be a particularly technical circuit to navigate, one that has proved popular with fans and drivers alike. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
And here are the driver grid positions for today's race. An immense lap from Nobuharu Matsushita yesterday puts him on pole position. And it's Robert Schwartzman in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Armstrong, Aitkit, Luca Giotto, and Lundgaard, Sato, Alesi, Sonoda, Callum-Ilott, Joe, PK, Jan Daruvala, and Nissany, Mazepin, Tictum, Samaya, and Felipe Dragovic, Schumacher, and Artem Markelov, Delatraz, and Sean Gelael completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Time for the feature race, and if you're not yet subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below. Don't forget to ding that bell to never miss a future episode. Guys, quickly looking at the race director here, and it seems like everybody is starting on the soft compounds, going to the quicker tire, the super soft at the end of the race. And honestly, on heavy fuel, at the beginning of the race, I think I'm going to go for the same strategy because I know the tire wear is going to be hectic around here. How hectic, we do not yet know. But you guys, you know what the drill is. You need to jam with me. It's a pumped up song, so let's get ourselves pumped up for this feature race.
Now let's get it all in perspective. For all y'all enjoyment, a song y'all can step with. Y'all appointed me to bring rap justice, but I ain't 5-0, y'all know it's not yo. Grey Goose and a whole lot of hydro. Only describe us as soldier survivors. Stay laced in the best, well dressed with finesse in the white tee, looking for wifey. Newness, here's the anthem. Put your hand up that you shoot with, count your loot with. Push the pool stick in your new crib, same hand that you hoop with. Swing around like you stupid. King of the town. Yeah, I've been there. You know I click clack, where you and your men's at? Through the smurf, through the wop, baseball bat. Rooftop like we bringing 88 back. They shooting. I made you look. You a slave to a page in my rhyme book. Getting big money, playboy, your time's up. Where them gangsters, where them dimes at? They shooting. I made you look. They shooting. I made you look. They shooting. I made you look.
You a slave to a page in my rhyme book. They I made you look.
Guys, are you guys ready for the feature race here at Marina Bay for the Singapore F2 weekend? 5 red lights and it's go for the feature race here in Singapore. It's myself on the front row with Robert Schwartzman. Coming from behind, it is Marcus Armstrong. Yes, it is Marcus Armstrong in the part of the junior Ferrari program. We keep the lead from Schwartzman now in P2. Armstrong is in P3, and there's a massive battle going on behind us for P4 all the way down to P8. Into this next section, we come through the corner, and there's a little bit of a tag slapper. Ooh, that was very sketchy, and now we're under pressure from the Prema driver. Schwartzman, here we go. We stick to the inside for the corner. Schwartzman will have the outside, side by side into the corner, but nothing that Schwartzman can do. We maintain P1. A very, very risky way to start this race, I'm not gonna lie. But we maintain the lead. Schwartzman P2, Armstrong P3, P4, who's that in P4? That looks like Luca Giotto in the high-tech GP car. Beautiful racing there from Luca Giotto, one of the most experienced F2 drivers on the grid. Into this next section, beautiful through here, close to the wall as possible, over the bridge, into the hairpin, hard on the anchors. First gear, get the car to turn in, short shift into second, and then into third as you come out of the corner. Beautiful run through there, and we've already got just over a second on Schwartzman, so we've already bridged that 1 second DRS gap. So things are looking nice and juicy over here, but we've still got a long way to go, guys. Remember, I'm running a 100% feature race, 100% sprint race, so it's not gonna be a short one. And Singapore is the longest race on the calendar when it comes to F1. So you guys can imagine in F2, it's kind of tiring, but it's a good type of tiring. But nearly fell into my lap, but luckily I caught it. The Kung Fu skills, yes. But we come around the penultimate corner and now the final quarter to finish our first lap here of the Singapore feature race. Beautiful run there through the final corner as we start lap 2, and now we're going to jump on board at the end of lap 2, guys, as we now set the fastest lap of the race. It's a 1 minute 57.1.
Fastest lap of the race.
Thank you, Jeff. DRS has now been enabled. It's the start of lap 3, so it's always enabled like this, guys. So beautiful run through here. We're now going to get through this next section. We're actually going to go on board, you guys, because I felt so comfortable. The car was gripping, everything was feeling spectacular. But if you guys look to the bottom right, the tires are wearing exceptionally quick, especially that right front tire. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that little thing over there. But let's go for this beautiful lap here through to the end of the first sector. Now into the second sector. These hairpins can cost you so much time if you have a bad exit coming out of them or just a bad run through them. So especially that previous one, that left-hander as well. Come as close to the wall as possible. We've got 1.2 seconds so far on Robert Schwartzman in P2. Very aggressive into this section of the track where I am particularly stronger than the AI. Mount the curb aggressively as close to the left-hand side as possible. Over the bridge, hard braking into the hairpin. Get the car turned in, short shift into second, into third if you really want to, but just be careful on your exit there because there is a bit of dirtiness on the right-hand side of the road there if you go over the white line. So just be careful as you plant the power coming out of there. Through this next right-hander, mount the curb very aggressively. We've got 1.4 seconds on Robert Schwartzman now, so you guys can see they're pushing as well. So because I'm not running away with this, I'm struggling actually to get the gap to increase. But now into the final sector, underneath the little bridge through the tunnel. Beautiful through here. It's a little very aggressive line through there as the car does a little bit of a step out on the rear end. Nothing too much we cannot handle. Through the penultimate corner, into the final corner, throw the car in, mount the curb, plant the power on the way through, and this is going to be a 1 minute 56.606. Beautiful lap there. We now jump all the way on to the end of lap 5, and you guys can see I'm still maintaining the fastest lap of the race. The gap to Schwartzman now is almost 2.5 seconds. So you guys can see I'm really pushing to try and get away from Schwartzman because, guys, as soon as I eased off, they would catch me. So I had to push because I could see and realize they were pushing as well. Another fastest lap, 156.3 as we start lap 6. We now jump all the way to lap 9. You guys can see the gap is 3.8 seconds. So I've got a reasonable, comfortable gap now.
P1, Schwartzman behind. Our gap behind is 3.9 seconds. They're on old softs. Your pit window is open. Pit window is open. 26 laps to go.
Okay, guys, just quickly talking there about Jeff. My pit window is not currently open. We have to go to at least lap 22 to make sure that the super softs make the end of the race. So you guys can see we now jump all the way on to lap 10 and look at that right front, guys, 41% already, and we're not even done with lap 10. We've still got more than 10 laps to go. Yeah, so it's at this stage of the race where I realized that tire wear was going to be a massive issue. So now we'll jump on board here with Callum iiTzAssassins. I quickly thought that we were going to talk to Jeff there. iiTzAssassins is right behind Giuliano Alesi in the race lab, the pink BWT race lab car. DRS is open. Here comes iiTzAssassins. He moves to the outside. Will he make the move around the outside of Alesi? It's a brave one, especially at this corner. He hangs it around the outside. Alesi defends very aggressively towards the inside. He's going to have the inside for this next corner as well, but Callum will have the inside coming out of the chicane, and Callum just squeezes Alesi to the wall, and that's a beautiful move from Callum iiTzAssassins. Now guys, back to my story. I realized now at this stage the tire wear here around Singapore was stupidly aggressive. So making it to the pit stop was going to be a mission. It was not going to be an easy task. So we were really had to really start conserving our tires, and it was at this stage of the race where Robert Schwartzman was starting to catch me back up from P2. So I had a lot of pressure to deal with, and the strategy at this stage of the race changed completely, because at this stage I was starting to think about maybe converting to a 2-stop and doing 2 sets of super soft tires. But we all know the pit stops in Formula 2 are much slower than in Formula 1, and I needed to see which was going to be faster for me. And at this stage, yeah, I realized the 2-stop was not going to work, but it was still under consideration, guys, because the grip was just null and void. The reason for it being such a big problem, guys, is because Singapore is such an aggressive tire wear track. When the tires fall off the cliff, they fall off the cliff. So look at the right front, guys. As we start lap 20, well, we end lap 22. I still came in a lap earlier than I thought I would. 85% on the right front. That tire started to blister. And let me put it to you guys this way. You start going into puncture territory from 70 to 75%. So for these last 4 to 5 laps, I was just praying to get this car to the pit lane. Luckily, we did.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Guys, we come out in P11 right behind Sean Galale. I don't know how the guys ahead still have grip. Because, guys, anytime I would turn into a left-handed corner where the pressure would be put onto the right front tire, the car understeered like an absolute donkey. I had to brake so early for those corners, it's not even funny. And now we're in P11 and there's yellow flags right here, and that looks like a Carlin, and yes it is. Jay Anderuvala is out of the Singapore feature race. Very sad there for the Carlin driver. So my fellow Japanese man, Yuki Tsunoda, is the only man left running for Carlin. And guys, now that I talk about Japanese drivers, I've actually realized it only now. Between Marina Sato driving for Trident, Yuki Tsunoda for Carlin, and Nobuharu Matsushita for MP Motorsport, which we are driving as, you've got 3 Japanese drivers on the grid. So is it a little bit foolish to say that somewhere throughout this season I would like to see an all Japanese podium? I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for the Japanese drivers when it comes to Formula 1, guys, because I know how hard it is for those guys to get into the sport due to it being such a hard sport to get into. You have to have money and all these bloody things. But look at the dive up the inside of Sean Galale. Beautiful move there up the inside as we would just make a dive bomb of dreams. Didn't make any contact whatsoever, and this one deserves a replay. Look at this. Heading into this corner, you guys can see, because my tires are new, I wasn't even trying to dive bomb him there. The tire grip is just so much more sufficient. I can just brake so much later. And into the next corner, we just pulled to the inside and just went for the dive of dreams. But now the drivers who didn't pit the previous lap are all coming in now. Armstrong, or is this Lundgaard? I think this is no, that's Armstrong. Armstrong is coming in, Galale is coming in, all these drivers that stayed out an extra lap, which I think was foolish, because the tire wear is so intense around Singapore, and the tires go through so much wear and tear, they heat up quite quickly, because there are so many aggressive corners, so they just heat up quickly. So halfway through the lap, I had grip. So yeah, I think that was a bit foolish. But we start lap 24, we've still got 11 laps to go, 10-11, however you want to count it. We are now in the lead, 2 seconds ahead of Schwartzman. Look at Yotzo has jumped Armstrong and is now into P3. Armstrong is P4, and then Jack Aitken is in P5, but he is in a world of his own in P5. The top 4 are the ones to look out for in this race. Now, this is the end of lap 25, if I'm not mistaken, guys, 24 or 25. We start the lap, and we lead the way, and driving as Nobuharu Matsushita from Robert Schwartzman in P2. You've got Luca Giotto in P3 for High Tech, Marcus Armstrong P4 for ART, then P5 is Jack Aitken for Campos Racing. P6, it is the second ART of Christian Lundgaard. P7, it is Yuki Tsunoda, the one and only remaining Carlin. P8 is Marina Sato, the third Japanese driver. And you've got Guan Yu Zhou for Uni Virtuosi in P9. And in P10, it is the second Uni Virtuosi of Callum Ilott. You guys can see here, Yuki Tsunoda is actually pressurizing Christian Lundgaard. Guys, Tsunoda had exceptional pace on the super soft. He actually stole the fastest lap from me about 2 times until he caught up to the back of Lundgaard, where I just was able to go quicker and quicker as the car got lighter with fuel. But Tsunoda was an absolute beast on these purple-walled super soft tires. So well done to Yuki Tsunoda, keeping the Japanese name high in Formula racing, in single-seater racing. And guys, now that I think about Yuki Tsunoda, who's actually going to be driving for Alpha Tauri in real-life Formula 1 in 2021, I think for any of you guys who watched Formula 1 in the late 2000s to throughout the late 2000s till now, you guys will remember Kamui Kobayashi. He drove for most of his career for Sauber. And I think Yuki Tsunoda is going to be a better and improved Kamui Kobayashi. Kobayashi currently drives for Toyota Gazoo Racing in the World Endurance Championship. Kamui is busy, and he's really getting his career like he's a very big star in the World Endurance Championship. But when it comes to Formula 1, I think Yuki Tsunoda is going to be a younger and improved Kamui Kobayashi. So watch out for Tsunoda this coming season in Formula 1. I'm by no means a Yuki Tsunoda fan, but I think I'm going to become a fanboy of him pretty soon, because I've always had a soft spot for the Asian drivers. It's just happened always, guys. But now, you guys can see we are on lap 31 of 34. And for those of you guys that actually watch Formula 2 in real life will know the races have time limits due to it being so close with Formula 1. And I didn't know that was implemented into the F1 2020 game. So you guys are going to see, heading into the final sector, we are going to be cut off. Like literally, the race is going to end at the end of lap 31, because we have literally run out of time just because the race is just too long and we've exceeded the time limit. So we are in the lead 5 seconds ahead of Robert Schwartzman, and we are going to take the win, because the race is going to end, I think, at any second now, because then we have exceeded the 60-minute time limit for the feature race. So let's quickly look here. Through this next left hand, I think it was here where it just popped up on my screen. It was somewhere throughout here. There we go, feature race done, 3 minutes left to finish the feature race, and checkered flag, and on the right you'll see Nobuharu Matsushita, checkered flag. So guys, I didn't know this was implemented into the F1 game. Actually, props to Cody's for doing this, but the race is going to end 3 laps earlier. I'm not complaining because it was damn long. We take the win for the feature race from pole position.
Great job, you've done everything we wanted today.
Well then, that concludes another excellent race. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
This race, this win, was about one thing and one thing only: consistency. Anyone can be quick for just 1 lap, but there's a difference between that and being quick every lap, over and over and over. If you can do that, if you can gain ground when your opponents make mistakes, but then not make mistakes on your own, you can just push and push.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be MP Motorsport picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
I think it has to be Luca Giotto. You know, good on tires, some nice passes. I can't really think of anyone who caught my ass more today. My choice is not the same as the fans' choice this time. And both drivers were brilliant today. But the driver I choose today, just about has the edge, I think.
Goodbye for now then, but we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
We will definitely be joining you two guys for tomorrow's sprint race. Guys, remember, I post the sprint race directly the day after the feature race. So guys, when you're done with this episode, go check out my social medias, links in the description down below, because the sprint race teaser might probably already be released on my social medias. But guys, that has been this episode. Now guys, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the most entertaining episode when it comes to overtakes and battling on track. But strategy-wise, this was one of the most interesting races I've had in a long time. Probably the most interesting race I've had when it comes to F2, when you look at strategy. This was insane, and the fact that we survived, especially that first stint, that right front being on 85% wear. Guys, I don't think you guys realize how insane that is. I had no front grip when I turned into a left-handed corner because the pressure on the right tire, well, the wear on the tire couldn't handle it. The tire just understeered. The car felt like a boat. A donkey combined with a boat. So you can realize it just went whee! But not the point. We've had a fantastic race here. We take pole position. That's already 4 points. Plus, we take the win for the feature race, 25 points added onto that as well, plus 2 for fastest lap. So I am very satisfied with this. But guys, that has been this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. If you haven't done it yet, drop a like down below on the video. And while you're down there, make sure to go check out those links in the description down below. I repeat myself for a reason. So yeah, guys, please go support Falcon Gaming South Africa. I've recently joined the clan. We're trying to uplift the South African gaming community. We've got a lot of potential, but the South African gamers are we are too divided, and we need to start sticking together, and South Africa can actually be a proper gaming region in the future. So please go support Falcon Gaming in the links in the within the links in the description. And finally, if you're not yet subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below, and don't forget to ding that bell. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers!
I made you.